Panda.
I wasn't expecting that. All right.
I'm just leaving you. You have to cut this out.
Yep.
Or leave it in. I don't know.
Hello, and welcome to the first episode of the RNGeez podcast. My name is PandaPax, here with my host, Sir Stallion.
Hello.
And together, we are going to explore the Destiny universe 1 week at a time. So...
It's true, we are going to do that. It's a fact.
We are. So, Stallion, why don't you tell us a little about yourself, how you got into Destiny, and what you do for the Destiny community?
I mean, I wouldn't say that I do anything for the Destiny community per se. I'm more of a blight on the community, but I stream over at twitch.tv/Stallion. Pretty regularly. I play Destiny. I play other stuff too, but not really.
Nothing comes close to Destiny.
Yeah, man, it's hard. It's a hard knock life. I'm out here just playing Destiny, being a subpar player on a daily basis. With you, a lot of the time, actually.
Yes, indeed, we are clanmates.
We are, and we regularly play together, unlike most clans where there's like 7 billion people and nobody knows each other. I assume that's how bigger clans work. I don't know. I never get accepted into them. I mean, I'm so happy in the small clan. Haha.
What got you into Destiny? What was your first experience with Destiny?
So I got into Destiny a little bit late. I played the Destiny 1 beta, and I was like, oh man, maybe I could get into this game. And then after about an hour, I was like, oh man, I'm not getting into this game. And then shortly after the first DLC dropped, The Dark Below, some of my friends were like, hey man, you should come and play Destiny. So I said, hey man, no, because I didn't have the money for it. But one of my friends, her name was Mouse. Her name wasn't Mouse, her name was Margie. But we all called her Mouse because Margie is an old lady name. She actually ended up buying me the game, sending it to me. So I started playing Destiny with those guys. And I don't know what it was. I think it was maybe just playing with friends. I got hooked. And I played pretty much non-stop up until D2 came out. But
nice.
I didn't play much of D2 in vanilla because I was very disappointed in the game, much like most of the community. But it's a great game now. I love it. What about you? Why'd you stop playing? I don't think you've actually told me why you started playing. I just know when you started playing.
So I picked up the game actually much later than you. It was after the Taken King release, before the April update. So Taken King had been out for a decent amount of time, and I picked up the free-to-play where you had like 5-6 levels, and you could choose a character, customize it, do whatever.
Sure. Yeah, the demo.
Yeah, the demo.
Mm-hmm.
And downloaded the demo while I was at college, and played it, and really enjoyed the gunplay. Like, I knew I was super low level, and looking at like all of those people who were near close to 330 light, and I was just like, wow, I could get there someday. But this gun and these guns that I know are shit are so much fun. So, like, it's just going to get better from there. I downloaded it with a friend. We played it duo, did a whole bunch of PvE content. Towards the end, got so much more involved and so much more into the weapons of it, because that's kind of what made me fall in love with the game. And what I do for the Destiny community is I make weapon breakdowns over on r/Shard2Keepit, and for the Charlemagne.
Yes.
The people on the Charlemagne, which is a Discord API bot that pulls things from the Destiny API and uses it.
Yeah, and I'm sure
I do a lot of
we'll have links for both the subreddit articles and the Warmind daily.
Yes.
So everyone can check out what you do. We'll ignore my Twitch link because nobody wants that.
So, yeah, that's what I do for the Destiny community. It's kind of a small little portion of the internet that I like to keep reign over.
Keep reign.
I don't know.
Are you saying that you're like the king of weapon breakdowns? Is that what you're saying?
I like to think about myself that way. I'm definitely not.
Okay. I mean, hey man, I like to think that I'm the king of... Yeah, I got nothing. Okay. I'm the king of
So,
having nothing.
Season of Opulence is right around the corner.
Mm-hmm.
Stallion, what are you most excited for with this new season? We got the 6-man event coming in, a new raid that might possibly ever step foot in.
I mean, I don't know, man. I'm excited for the Menagerie, which is the 6-man activity, the brand new 6-man activity. Because I like... They talked about it in the 12 this week, in this week of Bungie, being able to, I guess, have more control over the rolls you get on the weapons. Like, you can input a specific whatever for the specific masterworks that you want and stuff like that. So I'm excited for that. I'm kind of worried that if we have too much control over the perks, it's going to get real dead real quick. But I'm hopeful. I'm not keeping my expectations too high, because I've been burned in the past, man. I can't go through that again. But I am really looking forward to the Menagerie and how all that works. As for the raid, I still haven't gone into Last Wish, so we'll see. It really depends how much of it speaks to me in terms of the weapons and whatnot.
Yeah, you have done Scourge, though.
I did do Scourge. We did Scourge earlier this week. Or the end of last week.
Couple.
I don't know, it was sometime before yesterday.
Yes.
Yeah.
Is there any weapon archetype or weapon that you would like to see come with the next season?
Machine gun. I would like to...
machine guns?
Yeah, I would like to see an arc machine gun that can come random rolls. Because...
Okay.
I mean, I love my Hammerhead, and I use the Avalanche, but when Arc Week rolls around, I don't want to sacrifice my exotic slot to the Thunderlord. It's great, but if it's Arc Week, I'm running Risk Runner. You ain't stopping me. So I'd like to see more machine guns. Honestly, I'd like to see a few machine guns in like different archetypes and stuff like that. I think that could be really cool. But I don't know. Machine guns, I imagine, are a little bit weird to balance on Bungie's end, because they insist on balancing things, both PvE and PvP at the same time. Yeah. So I don't know. I'd like to see more machine guns, and I'd also like to see more interesting hand cannons. And I know you feel the same way about that, right? You want more hand cannons. You're a little hand cannon whore.
I am. I'm really hoping for a good solar hand cannon. Yeah. Whether that's a 110 or 140 or 150, because right now we have Trust and we have Luna's Howl, which I know is getting adjusted to a 150, but it is static.
And Not Forgotten.
I'm not kidding, Not Forgotten.
Okay, so, good point. Alright, yeah. Good point. But yeah, so, I mean, Not Forgotten and Luna's Howl in PvE, they're the same gun.
Mm-hmm. And after the adjustment, it's going to be definitely different for both of those guns, because they're going to lose a lot of viability.
Oh, sure. I'm excited to see that, though. I'm not one of the people that's looking at it and being like, oh, I hate you, Bungie. You're taking away the best pinnacle weapon. Because they're not. They're balancing it. They're doing what they think is right. And it's Bungie, so if it's not right and everyone hates it, they'll just backpedal.
Mm-hmm. I'm excited for it because it's going to make the time to kill of other weapons kind of a little bit more balanced.
Yeah.
Because right now the 0.67 time to kill of Luna's and Not Forgotten is nowhere near any other weapon. You can come close with like Last Word, but that's 3 crits, which is not easy with a 225 weapon.
Yeah. And then the only other one that obviously everyone's been grinding for, the Kill Clip Service Revolver, but that it doesn't have a base 0.67 time to kill. That's only with Kill Clip active, and then you have to hit all headshots, so really you need a reload perk. So the odds of getting that to, you know, the situation in which you can 3-tap with a 180 outside of Luna's Howl and Not Forgotten It's very, very, very niche. And it's satisfying, and it's fun, and it's an option, but it's not balanced. Well, it is balanced, but Luna's Howl, Not Forgotten, they're outliers at the minute, which in terms of PvE is fine, but when it comes to PvP, it really needs to be an even playing field so that anyone can use whatever they want and still be competitive.
For sure. I have people home, so I apologize if there's background noise.
It's
People
fine.
just walked in. I'm excited for Menagerie. I have no idea what it is going into it. I do know that 6-man match-made activities with, whoever could come in, so Blueberries is not always going to be ideal.
Yeah.
But if it is kind of endgame-ish, people are going to kind of push towards that.
See, in my head, it's some sort of weird mix between like Reckoning and Court of Oryx, or I guess more accurately between like Reckoning and Blindwell, because Blindwell is basically just Court of Oryx.
For sure.
But
I'm just kind of worried because that's more people that are on the field that could mess up.
Yeah, no, for sure.
So.
Well, with any luck, it will be. I mean, kind of like the Reckoning. We did some Reckoning a couple weeks ago, and our 4th ended up leaving, and we didn't have any harder time 3-manning it than we did when we had 4 people. So I'm hoping that it's gonna have the same margin for error in the Menagerie, so that even if someone's not quite pulling their weight, everyone else can pick up the slack very, very easily. I don't imagine it's going to be like raid difficult.
Yeah, I'm hoping that it's a step down from like Shattered Throne / the Whisper and Outbreak Perfected quests, but like a step up because there's more people from Reckoning and Blindwell-esque. And I'm just hoping the difficulty isn't more enemies.
Yeah.
That there's actually like some type of mechanic that you have.
Because that's a problem with. I'm going to talk about some other games for a second. The one game that I have the biggest issue with is actually Dark Souls 2, because Dark Souls was notoriously a very hard game. It kind of came out of nowhere, and everyone was like, "This game's so difficult." And then when Dark Souls 2 came out, everyone was like, "Yeah, it's going to be difficult as well." But the only thing that made it hard was everywhere that there was any sort of enemies that were somewhat difficult to fight, they would just multiply them by 3 or 4. Be like, there you go, challenge. And while technically it's hard, it's less difficult and more time consuming, because instead of having to outplay, or instead of having to use skill to beat multiple enemies at once, you just kind of run them around for a minute and kill them the way you usually would, but slower.
Yeah.
So I don't think that's the right way in terms of gameplay. I think that's an issue that a lot of people have with the raids too. The mechanics aren't mechanic-y enough, I guess. I don't know. I know what you mean though. I hope it isn't. Yeah. I hope it isn't just like, oh, here's a horde and here's a time limit,
Yeah. Along with the next season's expectations, what are your thoughts on some of the pinnacle weapons? So that's Revoker?
Revoker, Hush, and the other one.
Yeah.
What is it? Prolium? Well, that's definitely wrong.
No, I've got it right here. It is Wendigo.
Wendigo? What was I thinking?
I don't. You're thinking of the fusion. So
apparently we got Wendigo, I'm thinking of a fusion rifle, yeah.
Wendigo, which is a precision drum-fed grenade launcher, which is heavy. Revoker, which is a kinetic sniper of the aggressive archetype. And then Hush, which is, I think, a precision bow?
I would assume so. It'd be weird if it wasn't, right, given his perk.
It's either precision or lightweight, which is like the arsenic bite.
Yeah. I'm hoping precision. I think that'd be good. That'd be cool.
For sure. Which weapon are you most excited for?
Provoker. It's gotta be. I love sniper rifles so much. I'm not very good with them, but I love them. So, Revoker is gonna be I don't want to say it's going to be my top priority, because I don't necessarily think that it's going to be the one I go for first. It is, however, going to be the one I'm most excited for, and once I get it, it's going to be the one that I immediately equip and use.
For sure. I'm excited to see how the perk works, fiddle around with it.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm excited for all of them, but the one that I'm least excited for is definitely Wendigo.
Yeah, me too. I'm not a big grenade launcher guy, personally.
But if I'm going to be using a heavy that's not exotic, it's more than likely going to be a rocket or a machine gun.
Well, I mean, like we said, we're going to have to play around with them, see what they're capable of, because I think something I hadn't taken into account up until earlier today is that as pinnacle weapons, they're going to come fully masterworked.
For sure.
The Wendigo is actually going to feed itself. Because its pinnacle perk is when you pick up an orb of light, it gets an increased blast radius and increased damage. So, you pick up an orb of light, you fire it, presumably with the increased blast radius and damage, you can get a multi-kill, which will generate an orb, so on and so forth. So with any luck, once it gets going in PvE, it'll never stop. So it will always just be better than the average grenade launcher. The issue is it comes with blinding grenades, which have a really small blast radius. So it's really going to have to rely on that damage increase when picking up an orb for it to be a viable option. And as for PvP, I don't think it's ever going to be a viable option.
You're going to have to be very, very special to take out Hammerhead, Wardcliff, play the game even, from people's heavy spots. For sure. I definitely agree. Revoker is probably going to be my first pinnacle weapon. The beginning of the season for me is always a very interesting time because I have to do weapon breakdowns, which is kind of fun.
And while my only friend is doing weapon breakdowns, I'll be grinding strikes or something for the Wendigo. Yes. And then you and I actually have plans to go for Revoker, which hopefully we get in one session. I don't know though. Depends how our games go. We'll see.
I mean, if we win, because Revoker works that you have to get 3,500 points, period.
Yeah. So 3,500 total glory points.
Yep. And losses don't count against that, but you still have to, win enough to get 3,500. So I think that's a good way to incentivize more casual players to go into Crucible, because eventually they will get a pinnacle Crucible weapon.
Yeah.
But you're going to hit 2,100 far before you hit 3,500. So depending on how well we do, it's going to be interesting.
Yeah. I am somewhat interested in the way that they change things. A lot of people I've seen have been complaining, like, well, if you have to get 3,500, you would have just hit 2,100 before anyway. But that's if you're a good player.
Yeah,
and they're also saying that, like, even if casual or bad players eventually get it, they don't feel that they will have earned that pinnacle weapon. However, it's not Luna's Howl level of powerful. It has an interesting perk, and it's definitely going to be a helpful perk, and it's going to be fun, but it's not game-breaking. So if it does take someone, up until the end of the season to finally get Revoker, that's the exact kind of person that's going to want that perk.
Yeah, for sure.
So I think it's great the way they went about it. I just hope there's more to the quest line than just 3,500 total points.
Yeah, I'm hoping at least there's some prerequisites of hit 25 headshot snipes in Crucible period, so you can do that in quick play or in competitive.
I hope
or
not.
Something.
Have you seen me snipe? Body shots all day.
But just something to incentivize, using a sniper or
for sure.
Something of that matter.
Yeah. Because in my mind, the pinnacle weapons, the quest trains you for the weapon.
Mm-hmm.
Not so much with Recluse, unfortunately, but with the ones before that, it definitely was.
For sure. So I'm looking forward to it. Hush seems interesting. I'm not sure how it's going to be in practice, though.
Do we know it? I'm assuming it's kinetic, right?
I think it's energy. It's in the TWAB. I'd have to go back and look through it.
Yeah, it's not. It's not important. I just realized that's the only one we didn't really mention where it's going. Yeah, I'm gonna get it, and I'm probably gonna use it a bit just to see how it is. I like the bows. I enjoyed them. I used the no turning back all the way up until I was almost max light when Forsaken first came out. So I like bows a lot. I think they're interesting. In PvP, they're a little bit kind of, I guess, finicky. They're a little bit awkward to use.
Yeah, they have a specific play style that you kind of have to build into.
Yeah,
you can't just
you really
run
have to
around
lean
with like a
into
shotgun or
yeah, exactly. You can't just equip a bow and be like, I'm going to use whatever I want. You really have to play to the bow.
Yeah, which is nice and fun if that's what you're into.
Yeah, I mean there are a lot of things that are specific like that. Like for example, the Sturm and Drang combo. You can't just equip it and be like, this doesn't matter what I do. I'm just going to play how I want to play. Because the Sturm and Drang directly play into each other, so you have to play into them as well. Which is, I mean, fine. It's a lot of fun. And I guess the same could be said for a lot of the pinnacle weapons, really. Other than Mountaintop, which I guess is just a generic kind of grenade launcher, do what you need to do.
Mm-hmm. For sure. So yeah, that's all the time that we have for today, do you think?
Yeah, can't think of anything else.
Yeah, we got our expectations for the season. We talked about pinnacle weapons. Where can we find you, Stallion?
Me? You can find me everywhere. Pretty much just Sir Stallion. That's a lie. No, you can find me twitch.tv/Sir Stallion. My Twitter is Sir Stallion TTV. And now that's it. That's all of them. Yeah. What about you? Where can I find you? I need to follow you on all of the things.
So you can find me on Twitter at panda_pax, as well as on YouTube where it's getting published.
Yes.
Just hit that subscribe button for that. All of the links to all of our socials will be in the description below. Thank you for listening.
As long as you remember.
As long as I remember. I will do my best.
I believe in you, man.
It's only 3 or 4 links. It's whatever.
You got the power.
Alright. We will see you next week.
Yeah.
For episode 2, after Season of Opulence drops, we will talk about how our first week went.
That's going to be the name of the episode. It's just after Season of Opulence drops.
Get ready, get excited.
Gotta do it now. It's canon.
Alright. Goodbye.